Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here because we are going on a cinematic, highly visual journey through the rapid evolution of Google's most powerful AI. We're charting the course of Gemini, mapping out exactly how it transformed from a foundational model into a truly agentic, proactive intelligence. If you want to understand where AI is heading, you really have to understand how incredibly fast we just got here. Let's get started. Okay, let's dive into this by looking at the reality of early artificial intelligence, which was heavily constrained by one major limitation. Before Gemini, AI models were stitched together. Think about what that actually means in practice. If you wanted an AI to understand an image, you had to use a specific image model. If you wanted it to read text, you used a text model. To get them to work together, engineers basically had to staple these completely disparate systems to one another. Sure, it was functional, but it was incredibly clunky. It's kind of like trying to tape a calculator to a dictionary and calling it a smartphone. It just wasn't how human brains work, and it definitely wasn't the future. And that brings us to the core breakthrough here, native multimodality. Picture a cinematic visual in a dark virtual space. Imagine 5 distinct, vibrant, glowing data streams. You've got text, programming code, images, sound waves, and film reels all swirling around. Now, instead of tying them together with string, imagine them seamlessly fusing and igniting into a single brilliant neon blue energy core. That is native multimodality. It's an architecture built from day one to inherently understand all these different types of data simultaneously, right out of the box. What we're mapping out today is the massive jump that followed that initial neon blue spark. We're looking at an evolution that literally shattered boundaries at an unprecedented pace. We're talking about going from a chatbot that could hold about 32,000 tokens of context to a proactive operating system capable of handling over 2 million tokens. To put that into perspective, that's enough context to read the entire Harry Potter series in a single second. It's mind-blowing scale. So here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the native multimodal foundation. Second, the context window revolution. Third, the agentic intelligence era. And finally, we will map out this entire evolutionary leap. Section 1, the native multimodal foundation, the birth of Gemini 1.0. Let's travel back to late 2023 to witness the genesis of this era, the neon blue 1.0 spark. And this brilliantly illustrates how Gemini 1.0 was designed to be fundamentally different from standard text-based large language models. It laid the absolute groundwork for processing various media types simultaneously in one unified system. Let's break down the key specs of this 1.0 foundation. Launched in late 2023, it came in 3 sizes: Nano, Pro, and Ultra. Now, its context window was 32K tokens. 32K was a really solid starting point, perfect for foundational, basic retrieval tasks, things like summarizing a single document or fetching specific emails through the new workspace extensions for Gmail, Docs, and Drive. This phase also introduced AlphaCode 2, which was a specialized standalone tool built on Gemini Ultra, designed specifically for solving complex, competitive programming logic. It was a fantastic foundation for sure, but things were about to scale up dramatically. Section 2, the context window revolution, scaling with Gemini 1.5. We are now shifting the narrative to early 2024, entering an era of massive data expansion, characterized by a deep, sprawling, purple matrix of information. 2 million tokens. Seriously, try to visualize the sheer scale of this. Imagine that single glowing 32K data block from the 1.0 era suddenly undergoing a massive chain reaction, exploding into a vast, sprawling matrix of millions of floating text pages, cinematic video timelines, and a dense network of complex data charts. This breathtaking expansion was all made possible by a highly efficient new architecture called Mixture of Experts, or MOE for short. So the crucial point is how this translates to real-world utility for you and me. With Gemini 1.0 at 32K tokens, you were best equipped for, say, summarizing single documents. But jumping up to 1 to 2 million tokens with Gemini 1.5, you aren't just chatting anymore. You can drop in massive, heavy CSV files. You can feed it an entire 1-hour video timeline. You can upload a whole software code base or a massive library of books into a single prompt, and the AI can retrieve and analyze that deep, long context information flawlessly. It's a total game changer. But Gemini 1.5 wasn't just about reading more data. It was about actively working with it. This generation, featuring the Flash and Pro models, introduced a native code interpreter. This gave Gemini a powerful, sandboxed environment where it could actually write and execute its own Python code in real time to solve complex math, generate charts, and analyze giant datasets natively. It also integrated search grounding, meaning it could cross-reference the live web index in real time to heavily reduce hallucinations. It's honestly an incredible leap to reflect on, going from a 32K multimodal foundation all the way to a sprawling 2 million token execution revolution, completely redefined what an AI prompt could actually be. We went from simple inputs to entire workflows. Section 3. The Agentic Intelligence Era, the Gemini 3 ecosystem. Now we are stepping out of the deep purple data matrix and into the vibrant emerald green and gold era of the present. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it captures the shift from a passive chatbot waiting for instructions into a dynamic, proactive operating system. Think of a futuristic split-screen workspace where AI isn't just answering your questions, it's taking autonomous action and co-creating with you in real time. Let's walk through how this agentic ecosystem actually functions step by step. Step 1 is the Canvas workspace. This is a side-by-side interactive editor that enables something called vibe coding. It's an iterative, co-creative space where you and the AI modify and deploy code or text together. Step 2 is agentic screen automation, often referred to as Project Jarvis. This is wild. Gemini can now visually see your desktop, navigate browsers, fill out forms, and manage multi-step administrative tasks completely autonomously. And step 3 is deep data analysis. Powered by specialized reasoning models, the AI now spends more compute time calculating deep correlations across heavily formatted PDFs and multimodal files. Basically, it thinks deeply before it acts. To power all of this, the Phase 3 capabilities rely on an incredibly impressive lineup of optimized models: Flash, 3.1 Pro, Ultra, and Deep Think. It operates on a highly optimized 1 million plus token window. But crucially, it also deeply integrates with VO 3.1, allowing you to generate breathtakingly realistic 4K video directly within your workflow, along with Lyria 3 Pro for advanced audio generation. Everything happens in one place. Section 4. Mapping the evolutionary leap, the speed of advancement. Let's move to and see how this builds into the big picture, because the most staggering part of this whole story is the sheer speed at which this happened. Just look at this timeline. In late 2023, we got the very first natively multimodal Spark with Gemini 1.0 at 32K tokens. Just months later, in early 2024, the architecture exploded to handle a 2 million token capacity and run its own code with Gemini 1.5. And now, in the present, we're already navigating the Gemini 3 ecosystem, where that massive context window is highly optimized to drive autonomous screen actions, deep reasoning, and high-fidelity video generation. This all literally happened in the blink of an eye. This massive jump from processing mere paragraphs at 32K all the way up to the 2 million mark flawlessly connects agentic action, screen automation, and high-end video generation. Gemini continues to aggressively redefine the absolute boundaries of what AI can do across millions of data points simultaneously. So, I want to leave you with this final thought. We have mapped out the journey from a 32K foundational chatbot that essentially just fetched emails to a 2 million token proactive operating system that can see your screen, reason deeply, and write its own code to solve your complex problems. The foundation is set. The context window is vast. The agents are active and ready. Knowing all of that, what will AI autonomously build for you tomorrow? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. I hope it helped you grasp the incredible scale of where we are and where we're going next.